Hello, hello. Welcome to Dottie's World. And I see a couple people in the chat waiting already. That's awesome. But I thank you all for being here. And I'm very excited for today's stream. I have two guests with me. I have Karen B. Karen, how are you doing today?
Oops, I'm doing very good. Thank you. Sorry, my mouse is malfunctioning.
I have that effect. My brain malfunctions. So yeah, I'd be surprised if my stream doesn't just catch on fire and whatnot. But my other guest today is Rose777. Rose, how are you doing?
Hello, Dottie, and hello, everybody. I am so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me tonight.
Well, I am very excited to have you both here. You were both very inspiring to me, and you both just seem to crank out videos left and right. There's not even enough time in the day to watch everything that you do, but it's really awesome to see other females getting out there and doing stuff. And I am still trying to figure out what exactly I want to do with my channel or what my direction is, but I just kind of do whatever I want, and if people like it, they like it, and if they don't, well, then I have a ton of other videos. Maybe you'll like that, but yeah, I think it's just really important for everyone to kind of be themselves and branch out into what we can all offer the world. And because I will offer things that both of you don't, and you both offer things that I don't, and it's just really wonderful to be able to connect to people like you. And so thank you both for being on my channel. It's very exciting. And yeah, hello to everyone in the chat. So I kind of wanted to talk today about my journey with getting healthy and losing weight, and then you two can kind of just jump in and give your opinions or whatever. We could talk about healthy recipes or growing food or whatever. That is just kind of the topic for today. So either of you have anything to say before I start rambling more?
I love this topic a lot. I think that health is not only one of the most important things in terms of nutrition and growing our own food, but it's the most convoluted, obfuscated topic. And I mean, it's almost an industry to come up with bad ways to lose weight. Mm-hmm. And just right off the bat, I won't go on to a long rant, but I'm an example of what you should not do. After I was paralyzed, I had been an athlete. I was a water polo player and a boxing instructor, and I was just into lots of kayaking and swimming, stuff like that. And so out of fear, my mom convinced a surgeon to give me a gastric bypass surgery to prevent me from growing out of my wheelchair. And the idea was that if I was less heavy, that my whole life would be easier, which did kind of make sense at the time. And they had put me on all this chemotherapy and prednisone, which makes you become something called Cushingoid, where you just kind of blow up like a balloon. And so that really affected my confidence. So I was just willing to do anything. I was only in my early 20s at the time. So I can't absorb nutrients properly anymore. And I can't eat enough of the big foods that expand in your stomach. So I'm on a constant race to try and gather nutrients in whatever way I can. And the best way to do it is to use plants that you grow yourself, because you don't have all that crap in it that makes the toxins stay in your body.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and right now with, this whole pandemic thing going on or whatever, I'm not really affected by that, except for the ways that it is affecting normal life, but I definitely am affected by the stress of it. And stress is one of those things that it's like the hidden killer that you just don't even realize how much damage it's doing over time. And you could just be completely healthy, but then just have a heart attack at 45 or whatever because you've had so much cortisol. And so yeah, I just think it's so important to find ways to reduce our stress and find ways to get the nutrients that we're lacking so much, especially in food, because I mean, packaged food is just like, it's the worst thing that we can be eating, and like convenience foods. And so yeah, I totally feel that. But yeah, I guess I'll just tell you guys my story, and then we can go from there. So I have been pretty much heavy my whole life. I'm 34 now, and I have lost about 60 pounds through exercise and eating healthier. And but yeah, I grew up just eating. Every time we went to the store, you open the bags from the store, and it's just all Little Debbie and frozen pizzas and top ramen. And like, my mom just didn't really teach me how to eat or how to grow food, how to cook food, anything like that. And so yeah, I've just kind of always steadily been gaining weight. Was always kind of the chubby friend, and always thought that like I had to be skinny to be beautiful and have value, all this. But yeah, going through to my 20s, I had my son when I was 25, and then about a year later, he was almost 1, and I weighed 10 pounds more than I weighed when I was 9 months pregnant with him. And so, I had lost some weight after having him, but then I gained back all that weight and more. And, I finally got to a point that I'm just like, okay, wow, like I can't keep just getting fatter. Like I'm going to die before I'm supposed to, because I'm just not doing anything. And so yeah, I used to always just hate working out, didn't want to do anything like that. I thought like working out was just like punishment. I hated the pain, hated sweating, all that stuff. And but I that was the first thing that I started doing, was working out. I just picked up workout DVDs like Jillian Michaels and Tybo, and started doing that. And I discovered that I actually love working out.
Tybo is awesome. I remember that from the 90s.
So fun. Yeah, it's so fun. And yeah, so I realized, oh, I actually really enjoy working out. And, my body started changing. I started getting in better shape and feeling better. And yeah, and then kind of plateaued and got to the point that I realized, okay, food is the next thing that needs to be figured out. And so I didn't know how to cook anything. Like I could bake stuff, like a baked cake. Well, baked cake mix is a baked cock. That's hilarious. Oh my god. No, I could make a baked cake mix and stuff like that, but yeah, I didn't know how to do anything else. So I taught myself how to like cut vegetables and meal prep, and so yeah, that's been about like an 8-year journey now. My son is 8.5 right now, and yeah, I've lost 60 pounds doing all that, but I have probably another 40 still to lose. And it's just gotten to the point that I really want to like just up the journey, really, like really focus on getting healthy. Like, how can I clean out my brain? How can I like really just lose this fat off my body? Or like, how can I figure out like what kind of random enzyme from the sea I need that'll just like give me more energy or something like that. I'm just really fascinated in all of that kind of stuff. Like, how can I just make my body work at better than it has been? And yeah, so that's kind of the point I'm at now. But yeah, I'm about to move, and I get to have a nice big garden, so being able to grow my own food is going to be a huge helper in that.
I think that's the ticket right there.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is that the right thing for everyone is probably different, because it has to do with maybe just your genetics in a way, or the environment that you were born into, or even just the level of toxins that are in your body. And the episode that I know you liked with 220 with Clive, just like it might take 5 milligrams of vitamin C to reach that level where you can do that liver dump for one person. You might need 90 milligrams for another. So I think it's just, if you look at it from a cellular level, like providing your cells with what they need, I think that's huge. And I really do think that a lot of people who are overweight, they think that they're making bad decisions. And although, of course, there are people that are overweight because of that, there are also people where it's seriously not their fault because they're just not aware of what toxins are in their body that's preventing them, because their body's starving and holding on to the fat no matter what you do.
Oh, exactly. Well, and like packaged foods are, I mean, they are literally made to be addictive and, you know, made to not make you full, and they're specifically made to taste really good, but your body's just like, well, where's the nutrients in it? And yeah, it's really, we're just so bombarded by just so many toxins and terrible stuff, and especially in our food. And yeah, it's a struggle with like having kids, because you want your kids to eat healthy, but then it's like, oh, well, if you don't eat healthy, they're just going to follow you. And yeah, it's a constant spiral sometimes, it seems. But yeah.
Karen, you should talk about intermittent fasting, because Jason started intermittent fasting, and I literally can't do it because of my surgeries problems. I have to eat like every few hours. But he has lost like, I think 20 pounds ever since he started intermittent fasting, which wasn't that long ago. And it came off really fast, but now I think he plateaued.
Is that Jason did that?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, he just lost a bunch of weight randomly just because he stopped eating for 16 hours a day. But every time he eats whatever he wants during the 8 hours, it's horrifying. I'm like, how could this work? I don't understand how you could be eating that. So I imagine that if
he plateaus.
Yeah, exactly. So I told him, if you stop having carbonated beverages, like alcoholic carbonated beverages, and stop having sugar and take the milk out of your coffee, oh my gosh, that you're done. You'll be like a concentration camp with him. But he won't do that because he wants to enjoy his life, and I totally respect that. That.
I still drink, I'll drink beer and stuff still, but I just don't drink a ton of it.
Right.
You have to not drink a ton of it. It's just about moderation. You can still eat what you want to eat. You just have to do the smaller portion sizes, which once you start intermittent fasting, those smaller portion sizes are much easier to stick to. Because when you're not eating, of course, your stomach shrinks and you're not, constantly stretching it out by filling it with food before it can even digest the food that you ate before.
Right. Well, yeah, and just like stuffing yourself on, our meals here in America especially are just so oversized. They give us way too much food, and then there's no nutrients in it too. And so that's another thing that I deal with is like certain just too much processed stuff, like too much bread products or too much dairy or whatever. It'll just like kill my stomach. I mean, like to the point that I'm like literally dying, and it's just like, okay, clearly like I need to do something else, because like I don't feel like dying when I eat fruits and vegetables. And so it's like, geez, what are they putting in this processed crap that it's just, it literally is killing us. And so yeah, I'm just like, I can't even wait to like start growing a garden, because just being able to walk outside and pick your fresh stuff, and you know exactly where it came from, how it was handled, all of that, and you take out so many factors that other people are controlling in our food. And but yeah, it just,
I love it too.
Yeah.
Your plants. Just like putting that intention to it, and you don't know like what other energies were affecting it as well. What do you guys think of? I mean, I really do agree with the fact that it all happens in the kitchen and what you're putting into your body. But I also think that being healthy in general and getting regular exercise creates the conditions for your body to do its job. And so there's that whole thing with I used to be a calorie counter, and it did work, but I don't think it made me healthy. I think it made me look like my eyes were sunken in, like malnutrition, obviously. And then I was just trying to over exercise as well. But now people are talking about the difference between cardio and then like high impact weightlifting. Now you see all this stuff like CrossFit, and the littlest tiny friends of mine, like these little girls are like 5 foot tall and really skinny. They look like they're going to break. They're powerlifting and doing so well. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe that they can do that. And they look so buff, and I'm so proud of them. But yeah, I'm wondering if there's really something to that you don't actually need a lot of cardio.
Right.
To build muscle, you don't.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to build muscle for sure, yeah, you definitely need to lift some kind of weights. And most women tend to think that they're going to get like really bulky, but you'll just get really lean and you'll get those nice curves that like we all want anyway, and just get really nice and toned. And yeah, that's the thing that I'm trying to get to right now is like I've lost a lot of weight and I don't really care how much more weight I lose, but I'm just at the point that I'm like, okay, like I need to just tone my like, you know, not toned thighs, or like, you know, just tone my stomach and just like bring everything in while doing the healthy part as well. Because I mean, that's the benefit of like the health side, is that's just going to make your body look even better. You know, like good nutrients are going to make your hair grow better and all this stuff. And but yeah, weightlifting is really, it's such a wonderful way to work out and add good things to your body and everything.
Or like resistance bands. I bought some resistance bands. Those work too.
Yeah, I have a couple of those, and those are awesome because they're so portable. And I mean, that's you know, a huge thing right now is people, they like think they have to go to the gym. You know, you have to work out for 8 hours. You have to, or an hour, or whatever. You have to go and like do all these things and kill yourselves. And it takes so much time and expensive and whatever. But it's like, really, we just need a couple different things, or like do some yoga. You know, you really just need your body weight and to just do things that like you can be strong in. But then if you have like even a couple 10-pound weights, that'll add a, you know, a really great thing in as well. But it's like we don't need all kinds of equipment and this and that. It's like we really just need to move your body a little bit more. And
you can sort of improvise too when you with weights. Like you could use like gallon jugs full of water, you know, or something like that. You know, you don't have to have heavy weights, but if you hold that while you're doing squats, or, you know, do certain exercises with it, like that stuff works really well.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I have quite a few little at-home things, like just a little trampoline and a mini stair stepper and resistance bands and like a hula hoop. Give me one sec.
That's so fun. When I lived alone, I had a pull-up bar in my bedroom door, but it was lower than normal, and people kept hitting their forehead on it. And every time they would hit their forehead on it, I feel like it would make them, you know, kind of loopy and forget. So they'd hit their head again. And then it's just like, you can only hit your head so many times before it genuinely pisses you off, and it just changes the whole vibe. So I don't know if I should do that here.
You know what you could do, Rose? You could set one up in your backyard where you get, this would be a project for Jason, where you get like 2 4x4 posts, and then you bolt a piece of pipe, a steel pipe between them at the right height. And then you can put it in a spot that is like out of the way. And then when you want to go use it, you go outside and you can use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good idea. Because one thing I'm really surprised that I realized how selfish I had become, being like, oh, I'm disabled, I need everything to be perfect for me. And now lately I've been like, okay, I should probably like make sure that the walking people have it convenient for them too.
Blocking a doorway is,
sucks.
But yeah, I would do that, do it outside. That's what me and Ted are planning to set something like that up where we can have it like hopefully tall enough to where he can actually use it to lift up, and then like another one that's my height so I could hang from it and like decompress my backs, like, you know, that sort of thing.
Yes, indeed.
I was just thinking today I wanted to set up some kind of like American Ninja Warrior obstacle course in my backyard just because it's like it's so fun. That's been like a big bonus going to the park with my son and losing weight is it's like, oh, I can actually like climb on stuff and not be like overbalanced being heavy or whatever. And it's just you can do so much more when you're just not encumbered by weight. But yeah, outside workout equipment it's just so fun. Like I just want a big jungle gym to climb all over and yeah.
Well, that's definitely a fun way to do it. I totally love that idea. The best way to do it is just be outside and play.
Yeah, exactly.
Being outside is great too. Like actually I have in my backyard, it's like goes down a hill. There's a trail that goes out into my woods. You go down a hill, then through the woods, and then you come back up the hill. And it's a pretty steep incline. And if you just like, what I do is I just kind of like charge up the hill. That's my HIIT. That's my HIIT exercise. Yeah. I just power up the hill as fast as I can. And by the time I get up there, I'm like, my legs are burning.
That's awesome.
But that's good too for building muscle. And it's really good for your physique too, is that plyometrics, like actually using the muscles the way they're meant to be used.
Right.
You're not just doing weightlifting. Like weightlifting is good too. You can do that to sculpt your body, but you need to, in my opinion, the best thing is to do that and then combine it with like actually physically doing stuff with your body and using it the way it should be used. So then you get, more muscles involved and you get a more dynamic workout.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my boyfriend is really, really toned and lean, and like you can see all his muscles, but he's not bulky or anything like that. But he does archery, hours and hours a day, and then does like yard work and all kinds of stuff. Like he just literally is never stops moving and just is always using his body in strong ways or whatever. And it's just like naturally fit from that. But yeah, climbing up hills is, I just stopped delivering for Amazon, and like some driveways are just like this steep ass driveway, or some have like staircases. And like, I swear going up the steep hill is harder than going up a staircase. Like I'm just like dying getting to the top of these big driveways, but I'm like, always try to remember like, okay, I'm like getting paid to work out. Like it's a really, really good thing. Like I lost probably like 30 pounds in my first couple months delivering for them, because you're just like walking so many miles and and climbing stairs, lifting boxes, all kinds of stuff. And just little things like that really, really add up to big results over time. If you have a lot of weight to lose, just like start small, start going for a walk and add in any kind of hills when you can. And the weight will just start coming off. But I'm going to pop in the chat here, say hi to some people. Hello to Beth Martins and Sue Fanelli. She said that Rose777 sent her. I thank you both for that. That's so nice. And hello to Eric Delion. Zulu1 says he was first, apparently, and that we're the best. And need to connect. Hello, you are in my live streams quite often. That's awesome. DV McClellan. And who else? Rose is here. Yay. Brian Stavely. Awesome. Karen is always crushing out streams with Brian. They're very, very interesting. Very good. Ted Summers here. Awesome. Hope that Ted made it safely to his new destination in Karen Land. So Chris from South Jersey, hello. And who else? Tom Budis, Aisling717, yay, Cami. Everyone loves Cami. Good times for all. Hey, haven't seen you in a while. That's awesome. Cool, awesome. Well, that's everybody. Okay, let's see. Trying to think of anything else I wanted to say. I never know how long live streams are gonna last. Like, is it gonna be 3 hours long? Is it gonna be 15 minutes? What's gonna happen? Let me think. Maybe you guys can tell me like some of your garden plans and what you're planning on growing and excited to this summer.
Well, I can tell you that I got a very late start on my garden. I am trying to work on it though. I did plant some squash and I saw that they are starting to grow, and got some tomatoes started and some eggplant and all that stuff.
Awesome.
So that's what I'm going, and I'm doing it a little bit different this year. I'm doing sort of like the back to Eden method where you take a bunch of chips and you just layer everything. So that's what I have. I actually saw where I live, there's the power line runs right next to my property. And the power company was out here trimming all the trees, and they had big trucks out here with big chippers. And I went down there and I asked the guys to come dump some chips at my house, and they said okay, and they brought like 5 loads.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's the best way to get wood chips, because they most times don't have anything to do with them, and they're just like, yes, please take them. Like, we don't have anywhere to dispose of them. And I tried the back to Eden gardening in my my community garden plot that I just gave up, but I don't think that I had a thick enough layer of chips down. I think that's the biggest thing with it, is like you need a good solid.
Yeah, it's like
you want a thick. But yeah, it's a super awesome way to do it, because like weeds are they're so annoying, and like most of my plants got taken over by weeds, and some things it's like you just have to get a plant started so that you can plant that in the ground and know exactly where your plant is. Planted a lot of stuff from seed, and it just kind of got overtaken and whatnot. But yeah, that is a really awesome method for gardening. I'm like super excited to just do whatever I want. Like, my boyfriend said I can pretty much have free range in the yard, and I'm like, okay, well, don't complain when you have 50 raised garden beds and like a jungle out there. But
I have a couple peach trees that I planted a few years ago, although one of them, the one that was doing really well, got damaged, and the other one's not doing so great. So I don't know. I think I have to baby those to like nurture them along. But they have peaches on them, but a lot of them, they're just too young. They really aren't doing very well yet. And then I have some apple tree seedlings that I started because my daughter has been trying to grow apple trees.
Nice.
So I finally got one of the apples to grow 2 seedlings from the same type of apple. So if I can get those 2 to live, then I'll have 2 apple trees that can, germinate each other.
Right.
And I can plant them in the yard.
That's nice.
And then we'll have apples growing too.
That's awesome. Yeah, my neighbor.
Elderberry.
Oh, those are so good. I want some of those really bad.
Elderberry is like supposed to be really good because it's really good for eating and for, medicinal use, and it really grows naturally really well on its own.
Right.
So I want to get some of that going as well. Some bamboo, because the bamboo you can eat. There's lots of bamboo growing around here in this area as well. But
there's
a lot of things you can do. I already have lots of edible things growing in my yard. I've got, dandelions, plantain, chickweed, ferns. Ferns are edible. The little fiddlehead ferns. You can eat the healing ferns. You pick those and you saute them up. Those are edible. It's like,
that's awesome. And there's so much stuff that we like consider it a weed or just whatever, but it's actually really beneficial. It's edible, and like so many people hate dandelions, and it's like you can make so much stuff out of dandelions. It's kind of unbelievable, actually.
Plant too. You dry it out and make coffee from the roots.
Right.
Yeah.
Greens and salads.
Yeah.
I love
that. We're gonna be growing a bamboo fence as we want to make. Well, we want the bamboo fence just because it looks so pretty, but we also want to make arrows with it, and like bamboo just grows the absolute like perfect width for an arrow, and most of them grow really, really straight, and it's kind of unbelievable how like perfect they are for growing arrows. But yeah, they just make such a nice fence too, and so beautiful. But yeah, I'm really really looking forward to just, I've got like this whole big container full of seeds, and it's pretty hot in Eastern Washington, so I'll be able to grow a lot of stuff that I can't grow over here. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. Just go outside and eat breakfast in the garden, and yeah, I think it'll really help me just get healthier and whatnot. And yeah, be really fun to do with the kids. And yeah, it's awesome. I love plants. They're my favorite.
When I used to do my patio gardening in Santa Barbara, I would get this plate and I would cut up a banana, like 2 bananas, 2 apples, and 2 oranges, and just like display it out. And I would just tell myself, you have to eat this entire plate of fruit while you're, watering and pruning and singing to your plants. And I would just try to like overcrowd myself with nutrients and spread my gratitude. And but the weed thing, I like the good weeds other than dandelions that I've heard about are red clover and thistle and nettles. It's crazy because if you go online and you search for those, you'll see so many articles of people asking, how do I get rid of this stuff?
Right.
And just use Roundup. It's like, oh my gosh, it's painful to see.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, I almost wish I could censor it.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I've tried to join a few gardening groups, and most of them seem to be like pretty pesticide free groups, which are really good. But yeah, one I was in the other day, the guy was just like, oh, just spray some Roundup out there. I'm just like, oh God, no, don't do that. And horrifying. It's like, if you have to kill something, like just use vinegar. Like it's so much easier and better. And
vinegar does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Used it.
Yeah.
I like to start my
also
seeds
boiled
inside.
water. I'm sorry, Rose.
That's okay. Wait, boil water with what?
Just boiling water. If you just boil water and you pour it, if you have a little patch of plants you're trying to kill, if you boil water and you pour it, it will kill them.
Or also get down and weed. People are always saying, oh, I don't have time to weed. But if you're trying to, be close to nature and get a little bit of exercise and just moving around, just make sure you don't bend over bad. Like think of it as a yoga. Be like, I am going to now slide down in an ergonomic way and gracefully pick up the weed like a Playboy bunny waitress. But this is for no triceps. I'm going to reach backwards down and pull the weed out that way. Like synchronized weed pulling could be a new thing when we all make our buy land together.
I mean,
they
already have yoga with goats, so yoga weed pulling too. So why not?
Synchronized yoga weed pulling.
Exactly. That's awesome. Yeah, that's funny because I have my community garden plot for. I got it in August and then I just gave it up. So I ended up basically just pulling more weeds out of it than growing anything because I had it over the winter. And I actually found that I really enjoy pulling weeds. Like it's just really relaxing and enjoyable and like peaceful. And yeah, it's just like having your hands in the soil is so good for you, and just connecting directly with the earth, even if you are pulling out like weeds out of it or whatever. But yeah, it's such a therapeutic time to be in the garden. And I feel like I need that so much right now because I live like 20 minutes outside of Seattle, and I've been delivering in Seattle, which luckily it's in like north of where all the riots are and all the craziness or whatever. But just like driving through that city, you can just feel how like gross the energy is, and it's just like so sad and angry, and it just feels like I gotta get out of here. Like it's just so awful. Like I just can't handle being around this many people. And then going to visit my boyfriend where I'm gonna move, he's out in like the country in a tiny small town. There's like maybe 6 streets going one way and like 5 going the other way, and it's just such a nice feel over there to just like see people be normal and not psychotic. And like I just really got to get away from the demons. Like
I know. It's much better to be out of cities.
Yeah.
For sure.
They're just, yeah, like they already were not great, and now they're just even worse. Like, yeah, they were already a dumpster, and now the dumpster's on fire. So, yeah. Definitely time to get away. But yeah, super excited. My boyfriend has a third of an acre, and so I'm going to do all kinds of stuff to the backyard, but he has a community garden in the town as well. And so I'm planning on just growing as much as I possibly can, like just plant the seed and see what grows and see how it goes from there. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. Looking forward. Yeah. But yeah, I've been packing all weekend, and it's just, it's like the most boring project ever. Like, how do we get so much stuff? It's so annoying. And yeah, like, can someone just come riot and like take all the garbage I don't need? And yeah.
As soon as I can unpack all of my arrow gardens, I can't wait to start my seeds. And then my little ritual is that once at least the smaller ones that don't, the smaller arrow gardens that don't get too tall, once the herbs get to the top, I transplant them into these self-watering pots where it's like a little plastic container within a bigger plastic container, and there's a rope that you string through the bottom, and it's just a string that pulls the water up. And so just every few days I just fill up the bottoms of them, and then when those get too big, I'm gonna transplant those outdoors to raised garden beds so that my knees can go under them, and I'll have a tube that comes out for drainage so I don't have to worry about overwatering. And I really, really love cilantro, and I want to do 2 separate patches. One that I grow until it goes to seed and just spread it around everywhere, and then another one that I plan to eat to death. And then the same thing with basil and Thai basil. I do like to eat Thai basil, but I don't tend to eat it to death. I really like it. For some reason, when it blooms, it makes me really happy. So I like to have Thai basil bloom, and then I like to prune it like a little bonsai, just make it. And I just like hanging out with the herbs, especially. And I don't even care for dill that much. Maybe you know a recipe where I can use it. I know I've used it in making like raita, I think, like a weird version of that. But I really like just having it. And then chives, I eat those to death too much, but their blooms are edible. Their purple chive blooms are edible. So if you can handle it, grow extra chives. Just if you have them in a lot of sun, let them bloom and then eat them.
Yeah, I just realized like a couple weeks ago that those purple flowers I was seeing was chives, and only because someone was nice enough to leave the label out in their yard, because I kept seeing them everywhere. I'm like, oh my God, these are so pretty. What are they? And then, yeah, realizing they're chives, it's just like mind blowing. And like so many flower or so many plants, once they flower, I'm like, I had no idea that they did this. Like, it's so much fun. And yeah, it's awesome. The chives are so pretty.
Basil smells really good when it blooms.
So good. I love basil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm really excited to grow like basil and mint and balm and.
Have you guys ever grown chocolate mint? That smells a little different. A little subtle.
I had a chocolate mint plant and it freaking died.
Oh no.
I had it in this pot and it was coming back year after year after year. And then last year it didn't come back. And I was like, I didn't even think mint could die. Usually mint takes everything over, but I had mint and it died, and I don't even know how that's possible.
Well, don't give up and try again.
Right.
I have to go find another chocolate mint, but it did it. When I ate those leaves, though, it tasted like a thin mint.
Oh, that sounds so
good. It is really good, especially in a tea. I used to grow chamomile and mint, like a spearmint and a chocolate mint. And a couple times I accidentally got purple basil in my tea with the mint, and that wasn't the best. But it wasn't bad either. I felt medicinal. It just was a different kind of aromatic. But what else do I really want to grow? Oh yeah, tomatoes. I love, I want to try and make a creative trellis for different kinds of tomatoes. There's this in Louisiana. I'm starting to discover the Cajun food here, and so when you go to the one on the corner that looks like a gas station, but you realize inside it's like a historical legend. They'll give you like a piece of something called Texas toast, and I always thought, well, that's probably just a garnish. That toast probably doesn't taste like anything special. And I love toast too, and I just wasn't expecting it to taste good. And then they'll say that they're giving you a Caesar salad, and it will just be some iceberg lettuce with dressing on it, and it will look really boring, but it will be this thin tomato that's cooked with a little bit of cheese on it. And so you eat a bite of that with all the other things that they put there. And it looks so simple, but it tastes so good. And there's something like having one slice of warm tomato in your meal. Like I'm not into having too much slices of tomato, and I need the ratio to be perfect in my sandwiches. The avocado to tomato ratio has to be specific. But if I have one slice of tomato in every meal, I think that's really good because isn't it true that tomatoes are good for keeping you alkaline?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so, because they're an acidic fruit. So,
well, I mean, it's acidic in that it like may give you like indigestion, but I think in terms of pH, the outcome might be that it actually raises your pH or lowers it to the more alkaline level. And the same thing with lemon too. Doesn't lemon? You'd think it was acidic, but it's actually alkaline.
Oh. Yeah, I drink lemon water in the morning, and just to kind of like refresh my body in the morning. And yeah, I've heard that that's what it does for you. And yeah, anything just like put my body in like a better state than it was. Yeah, I'm definitely down for that. But yeah, super excited to grow tomatoes. I'm really obsessed with like trying to grow things that I have never seen in a regular grocery store, and things that like you probably aren't even going to get it at a farmer's market. Like any kinds of random, like I got the seed catalog from Baker Creek, and it's like over 400 pages of seeds, and like
check out Buddha's hand.
I don't even like melons, but there's these melons in there that I'm like, I really want to grow those. They're so pretty. And
I bought some melons from Baker's Creek this year.
Yeah, the two I wanted was the Kajari and the Tigger melon. Those two.
Well, they were out of a lot of melons.
Yeah.
They ran out of stuff.
Right.
So I got the banana melons, but because I bought them because somebody else in my area said that they bought them and they grew really well and they tasted really good. So
yes.
Cucumber is so much fun to grow. I love cucumber and squash, and especially Japanese eggplant.
Ooh,
I have some white Japanese eggplant that I grew. Trying to grow. They look like little white eggs, but
they look funny. Hell yeah. Yeah. Look up. There's specific things it's a little different than regular eggplant. So there's cool things.
There's a bunch of different kinds. And there's like the long skinny ones that are purple.
Japanese eggplant. I think that's
that's the number one. There's actually a few different kinds from Japan.
Yeah.
And then, but eggplants grow really well here in this soil. I always do have really good luck with eggplants, like the regular big purple eggplants. I grew some of those one year, and then I also grew tomatoes, and like I made this really great eggplant parmesan with my tomatoes and my eggplants that I grew one year. It was great.
Red bell peppers. I gave a red bell pepper plant to Jason's daughter, and she's been taking care of it. And one of them started coming out deformed, and she loves her little deformed bell pepper.
I never have good luck growing red bell peppers. They come out deformed too for me, like small and deformed. And I'm like, why is it like that?
They do best in the AeroGarden under lights, but I've never had that much success transplanting them. And I've tried indoor and outdoor, and they just always become a little bit retarded. But maybe it just means that maybe we're just socially programmed to want them to look the way they look in the supermarket, and that's why
they make it look that way, though.
They're
so big and juicy.
Yeah.
Like, I want that big juicy bell pepper, but I don't know how to grow it. I have to try again. I think they need sandy soil, which I don't have. So I'll have to like create maybe a raised bed that's specifically for peppers.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know.
Ooh, that is something, because maybe the plants around it are affecting them as well. It could be so many factors that we're not thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
And then strawberries, a lot of people don't realize how fun strawberries are to grow, because they will branch out and just have these, it's like a vine that is constantly wanting to spread everywhere, and it will keep growing even along the ground on a patio.
Strawberries
Oh,
are another one that I have horrible luck with.
Huh.
I've
Maybe
tried to grow
Bigfoot,
strawberries a few times and they never grow for me.
because
They're
Bigfoot
supposed
wants to keep
to,
them.
supposed to be able to come back every year. Like they're perennials, so they'll come back and spread out and whatnot. But I haven't ever had the space to give them a year to
You know.
try and come back. But
You
yeah,
know,
that's
I
one
have
thing.
a patch of wild strawberries behind my bedroom window. Maybe I should plant regular strawberries there where the wild strawberries grow. Maybe they'll like it there. I just thought of it.
That's a great idea. Oh, there's a couple blueberry bushes here from the previous owners.
Oh, nice. I bought a blueberry bush. I'm starting a blueberry bush this year too.
Cool.
Awesome. My
I'm
son
trying
is
to get as much
super.
things that are producing food growing in my yard, especially things that will come back every year on their own.
Oh, but Karen,
Another thing that does that is asparagus, because asparagus is actually a flower. So if you can get asparagus growing every year, they'll come back and you cut that off and you eat that. That's the flower of the plant.
something I want to tell everyone in chat is that I used to get a ton of questions about people and their blueberries. They'd plant blueberries and they didn't understand why they weren't blooming, and they'd give up. And it takes a few years. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes it takes, depending on the plant, in the blueberries case, it will take a few years. And then there's certain like lemon trees that will take a couple years too. And don't even get started about how long it takes.
Fruit plants, they have to mature before they start producing edible fruit.
Right. It's like thinking that a baby can get pregnant. You just can't.
Right.
It has to go through its puberty first.
Yeah.
Oh, and also you cannot grow an avocado tree that will bear fruit from an avocado seed that you get at the supermarket. So I have had to be the bearer of bad news to many people. So make sure that you know where you're getting your avocado seed from, because it's a big investment, and you're going to be very happy when you do it right. And it's not that hard if you get a seed that works.
Yeah, that's hilarious, because I actually have avocado seed out here that it has 2 little root sprouts on it, and yeah, I'm like super excited for it. But it's like, even if it doesn't grow avocado, like they're really pretty plants that I'm kind of okay with like just having it as a plant. But yeah, funny that you mentioned that. I was just thinking about my avocado seed. And
you got it from the supermarket?
What's that?
Did you get it from the supermarket? Is it from an avocado? Darn it. Well, that's all intentional, right? I mean, they just don't want people to be self-sufficient. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, my son and I cut open a lemon one day, and he saw the seeds inside, and he was like, "Oh, can we plant these seeds?" And I told him, like, "Yeah, we can, but most likely, since it's from the store, like, it's not going to grow into anything." And the seeds actually did sprout into little sprouts, but they've since died off. But yeah, doubtful that they would have actually grown to produce a fruit. But kind of sad that they do that. It's just like, no, we're gonna hoard all the seed growing knowledge, and like you can't just make a new lemon from this lemon that you bought at the store for $1. And it's like so ridiculous how much they try to control us. But that's why I love heirloom seeds so much, as they just have such deep stories with them. And you could just imagine like this grandma like sowing these tomato seeds and then carefully passing them down year to year, and then you still get to grow that and kind of taste the past almost. And
absolutely, all the microorganisms that have been in that soil could be so ancient. And it just, if you think about it, that ancient life is better than us, because it's like survived over such a long time and has all those ancient minerals.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I love it. And when I was sent to military, like bad girl boot camp when I was 17, no, there was no running water, and because we were just hiking for 10 miles a day in the middle of nowhere, and no showers and no way to clean. You get 1 cup and like a bandana for your face, but that's what you have to use to dry your cup. And they taught us, and I was shocked in the beginning. I trusted them because I knew that, they were paid to keep me alive at least. And so they said, okay, the way to clean your cup after you eat is you fill it with dirt. And then you just keep filling it with dirt, and then you just, pour a little water over it, and then you just dry it with more dirt, and then you take your bandana and you just wipe off the excess dry dirt, and voila, it's clean. And it totally changed my mindset in this hygienic, antibacterial, you're not allowed to be dirty world that we're brought up in.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I got a lot of vitamins and minerals from that. I want to go back and do that again.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I mean, every time I dig in the dirt, like just smelling the soil, I can like feel like I'm like getting infused with the earth. And yeah, it's just like these people who've been living in these like plastic bubbles in their quarantine or whatever, it's like you're going to come out and be exposed to the sunshine and the air and the dirt and other people and whatever, and like you're just going to get so sick because your immune system is like a cancer patient. And it's just like mind-blowing that people don't understand that like dirt is not bad for you. It's actually like pretty necessary. Like you have to get dirty or you are going to die. And like, yeah, it's just mind blowing. But okay. Let me see. It looks like Zulu one popped up back in the chat. I don't know if he left, but he's back. Then I say hi to Mojo Shop, and he says he's looking forward to meeting Karen tomorrow. That's cool. Karen has a stream after this one with Brian Stavely, so check that out. And yeah, let's see what is going on in chat. See if there's any comments I want to read. Need to Connect says, I planted my garden barefoot this year, then I patted down all the seeds with my feet. It was amazing fun. Yeah, I love walking through the grass barefoot, through the dirt. It just, anytime you can just touch the earth is a good time. Me and my son went to our favorite beach park today just to kind of say goodbye to the park before we move. And yeah, picked up some sea glass and just had a nice walk on the beach and yeah, recharged our souls and whatnot. So that's awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have anything else I want to ask you guys. I don't know. I'm just pretty much always excited to talk to people who are growing a garden and, just trying to get healthier and whatnot, and just like to talk to people who do anything really. Like,
have you ever done the master cleanse where you take a lemon and you squeeze it into some water and then you add cayenne pepper and then just a tiny bit of grade A maple syrup and you just drink that constantly for a few days?
I have been thinking about doing that. One of my friends just did that maybe a month ago or so, and he was telling me about it. And yeah, I have been thinking about doing that, and I actually might do that because I don't start. I haven't got a new job yet where I'm moving, but I have a couple of things that I'm waiting to hear back from. So I have like a couple weeks off of work, and yeah, I might do that in my time off of work, just because I like always feel like I need to like reset my like the factory settings on my body sometimes, just like get back to a completely neutral, zero, fresh start, and then go from there. And then, yeah.
For sure. I love that. I love doing that, but I can't do the cleanse. I can't just have that. I just can't handle it. It's not for me. But just as a drink to have, it's still really healthy ingredients, and it's certainly better than having a soda. So yeah, I think that lemon. Just a really quick anecdote. My grandmother, she had like a born again Christian spiritual experience, and then a dream where she, like, take this for what it's worth. God told her to have lemon water every morning. So I mean, so that's what she does, and she feels really strongly about it. Anyway, she's very healthy, and she doesn't have any wrinkles on her face. But she doesn't. But she doesn't like the sun, and so I don't know. I think I'd rather have wrinkles. I'll take the wrinkles for sure. I just love being in the sun, and I love being tan.
I'm with you on that. I love being in the sun.
I think I'll wear my smile wrinkles like a badge of honor.
Right, exactly. I'll wear my sunspots and whatnot. Yeah, it's so nice just laying in the sun and just like you just feel it charging you up and just like energized, and oh yeah, it's so nice. I love the sun. So I'm like super excited to go to Eastern Washington. It gets like really hot over there, and I grew up over there till I was like 10, and then we moved over to the western side. But yeah, lately, like I feel like losing some weight. I'm starting to get where I'm just too cold all the time, and like yeah, I'm willing to go someplace hot and and nice and not be cold anymore. And yeah, just to be able to grow some cool things that I can't really grow easily over here because it rains and scattered sunshine, whatnot. But yeah, excited for the sun.
Yeah.
Stuff.
The other thing that I started getting into that's good for health is fermenting.
Oh yeah, I've heard fermented foods are super good. I really would like to grow, grow some stuff that I can make like my own. I don't know, coleslaws or whatever. I can't even think of the word. Yeah, just fermented foods like beets or whatever. Those are so good. But
well, and I ordered a starter for sourdough bread. So I've been building this starter, and yesterday I made my first batch of sourdough bread, and I thought it was a complete fail.
Oh no.
Overnight, and then I baked it anyway, and it was still good. It was still moist inside, and it still had a good crust, even though I thought I totally messed it up. So I was like, oh, once I figure out how to do it right, it'll be great.
Yeah, I heard that sourdough is like the hardest bread to make, and that's the one that my boyfriend is just like, if I will do anything if you just make me sourdough bread. And I'm like, that's the hardest bread to make perfectly.
It's actually not though. Okay, well, I shouldn't say that because the first time I made the bread, I didn't do very well. But here's the thing. It was very forgiving. And even though I didn't do it right, I baked it off and it was still edible. It was still soft, spongy, edible bread. Like, you know, if I do that with traditional bread, like I used to bake my own bread all the time where, you know, using the regular yeast and proofing it and rising for an hour, where it would be like a 3.5 hour process to bake a couple loaves of bread. And I used to do that all the time. But if you mess up with that kind of bread and you let it rise too long and it overproofs, well, and then you have to punch it down and start the whole process over again. Or if you mess it up, it falls and it becomes really dense and yeasty and it's not pleasant to eat. But this sourdough, I mean, I totally thought I hosed it. I was like, it's not even rising. It rose just a little bit.
Right.
I thought it would be dense and gross, but it was still okay. So it's actually very forgiving. And if you have to let it rise a minimum of 4 hours, like they tell you like 4 to 12 hours, or you could even leave it overnight because it is a living culture. So it rises much slower. And so it's much more forgiving, and it's actually, you know, so even though that's my point. Like, even though I thought I messed it up, I didn't. I didn't mess it up.
Right.
So, and it's really good too, because it's like, you know, that being that it's a culture, it's pre-digesting the grains. So it makes it easier for you to digest, and it's not, you know, it's not like eating these other breads that are like very starchy or sugary, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's been one of my biggest things that like upsets my stomach is just any kind of processed bread, and like even getting like the, you know, healthy ones that are whole grain or whatever. There's just something that they put in them that just like sets my stomach off, and it's just not a good time. But I'm super excited to make my own bread because yeah, I've noticed whenever I make banana bread, or like I made homemade pretzels. stuff like that doesn't bother me. But yeah, it's just like too processed, and store-bought stuff is just whatever preservatives they have. Like, I just have to stay away from them. But
Another thing that's really easy that seems hard, but it's simple if you just do the steps, is cashew cheese. And you can add so many herbs to it that I just think it's a really fun, easy way to get in some protein and herbs. And it makes it really yummy if you put it in the dehydrator afterwards. But you just need some cheesecloth and cashews and a blender and just a few other ingredients. And it's just a fun thing to make.
that sounds really good. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to get goats and have goat milk to make cheese and mozzarella and stuff.
The ultimate luxury, having goats and being able to have your own goat cheese. I just think that is, I'm really into the whole idea of symbiotic living, just like our friend Ben Balderson. He has all these alpacas and turkeys and peacocks and goats and so many different animals, and they all love each other and they love him. And as he's shearing his alpacas, he like breathes with them and kind of sings to them in the same breathing frequency. And at first you think things like holding them down against their will, and then you realize that they're like having a bromance.
That's awesome. Yeah, the way that we can just connect with animals it's so beautiful, and the way our food system connects with them is so horrifying that I knew my boyfriend was right for me when I've really asked the world to send me a nice man who would build me beautiful chicken coops. And I haven't even moved over there yet, but he's already built a turkey coop and a rabbit cage. And then I sent him pictures of like baby goats, and he's like, "Oh my God, they're so cute. I need them." And so I'm like, yeah, this guy is definitely on the right path with me. Like, you got to be able to want goats to be with me. But yeah, just to have fresh goat milk and fresh cheese. Oh man, I can't even wait.
That's great.
So exciting. So exciting.
Karen, what's your perfect salad?
My perfect salad? I like baby kale and spinach and arugula. And I like putting like cranberries and pumpkin seeds and whatever else.
Yeah.
Tomatoes.
Arugula is very, very good for your digestive system. It's like the bitters, and also raspberries are good for your digestive system too.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's what my son really wants to grow. He's like obsessed. He just, every time I ask him, he's like, "I really want to grow raspberries." I'm like, okay, sweet. We will grow like an entire fence of raspberries.
That's wonderful that he even cares. That's so cool that he's not just like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I just want my comic books." But he's just like, please.
Exactly. Yeah, he definitely tells me like all about his Roblox and Minecraft whatnot. But yeah, he really likes going to the garden. My community garden had this like kid-sized wheelbarrow that he was just like obsessed with. That was the best thing. So yeah, he's excited to grow some fun stuff. So, and that's like the best way to get kids to be healthier is just get them excited about growing something, even if it's just one thing. Like if he just goes out and eats raspberries off the bush and is full off that, I'm so incredibly happy for that. You know, like I'm such a like grazer when I eat. I feel like I just really need to be in a garden, just like pick and eat and yeah, like
cherry tomato plants are great for that. When I grow cherry tomatoes, my children love to eat them right off the plant.
Yeah.
I'm excited to try. I finally got a seed packet for ground cherries, which are like they're cherry tomatoes, but they're like even smaller. But I think they'll grow like all over the ground if you let them. But I'll probably put them on a trellis just so they grow vertically and save space. Because yeah, I love vertical growing. It's like it's just so pretty and so fun, and you can grow so much stuff just in the air, and I love it. So,
And I love growing flowers too. And there's a lot of more edible flowers, but some of my favorite flowers to grow that I start indoors and then transplant are like calendulas, zinnias, marigolds. I love pansies, lavender, and then there's also really good foliage like polka dot and coleus, and it's just fun to have splashes of color all over the house. So I like these little Arrow Gardens. I'll put the link in the chat to the Arrow Gardens site, because for people that have never gardened at all, it's a great way to just jump into it, where everything comes to you that you need, and you can. I will promise you, I guarantee you, the plants are going to grow. It's going to work.
Yeah, like one of the most exciting things that I learned was that there's so many edible flowers, like nasturtium. You can put those on all kinds of stuff, and it's just like so fun to me to think of having a salad and you have literal flowers in your salad. And yeah, you mentioned calendula. I'm really excited to grow that because you can soak it in like oils and make good salves for your skin and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just so much fun. And like the squash blossoms, once those fall off, you can grab those and like put them in a batter and fry them. And it's just so awesome how many flowers you can eat, when like I didn't even know that these plants grew flowers like a year ago. And it's just so much fun to just plant a seed and let's see what it does. And yeah, I love it. It's awesome. Let's see.
Well, Rose doesn't have a wrench, so I don't know if her link is showing up in chat. I don't see it.
Oh, whoopsie daisies. I just wasn't even thinking.
Let me get you a wrench. One sec.
It's still, it's an easy word though. It says, just arrowgarden.com. At least it let me post it.
Okay, there you go. You should be added as a moderator now.
Thank you.
No problem. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many. I mean, I think the cure for everything, it really is in plants. Like I'm growing aloe vera right now so that I can harvest the aloe vera and make my own, because I can't stand that green dyed fake gross stuff that just like leaves your skin all sticky and it's disgusting. And yeah, it's like all our modern medicines are derived from plants as it is. And so it's like, why not just eat the plant or just rub the plant on yourself or whatever, and get the benefits without it being tampered with and changed and all this stuff. And it's like the medical. Oh, I thought I was gonna sneeze. Okay, I think I'm okay. Yeah, like the medical industry, they're in no way in favor of curing us and keeping us healthy, and that's for sure. And yeah, it's definitely on all of us to just find ways that we can be healthier. And I think talking to people is a great way to do that, because everybody has something that they can offer to the health and the journey. But yeah, trying to think. This has been a lot of fun. I really enjoy having people on my channel. It's a really good time. Been getting more live viewers lately, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Like just kind of branching into myself and discovering my channel, whatnot. But yeah, if any of you have anything else to say, let's see if there's anything going on in the chat. Doesn't look like. It's like everyone's just enjoying hanging out, whatnot. Zulu one says he never ate rabbit. I don't think that we're gonna grow rabbits for eating. I think we mostly want them for eating our weeds.
Rabbit before they're greasy.
Yeah, if we ever have anything that we kill, I know we're gonna get turkeys, but I don't know. I don't really want to be around when the butchering happens. Like, I know it has to happen, but like, I don't want to do that too much, but I will cook a turkey that we grew for Thanksgiving. So, kind of the like drawback of doing things yourself is like you have to get over that. Like if you want to eat animals, well, the animals are going to have to die. Sorry, vegans, but I don't eat a ton of meat as it is. But
Yeah, I rarely eat meat.
Yeah.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
When I feel like I want it.
Yeah.
Feed it to myself, but most of the time I don't need to eat it. I do eat a lot of eggs though. I would like to get a chicken coop started so I can get my own eggs every day.
Yeah, I love making eggs. One of my really favorite things to make for breakfast, like if I'm trying to be really healthy, is scrambled eggs with red bell pepper and spinach and onions and probably too much garlic.
That sounds good, Rose. I make stuff like that, and then I put it in a wrap. I'll make like breakfast burritos out of it.
Yeah, I've ascended, Karen. I don't need the wrap anymore. No, I'm just kidding. It's because of my surgery. It's just how I make myself feel better in the days when everyone was shaming each other for carbs. I'm just like, ha, ha, ha. I don't have room for bread.
I know.
No, but I do have toast every morning.
That's another thing I want to try and make is tortillas, which I've seen they're super easy to make, like a couple ingredients really.
And flatbread. And if you can make a tortilla, you can make tortilla chips, and just think about how much they've screwed us over with in the chip world. So I think that even just going out of your way to make whatever you want at home, even if you're making a chocolate sundae, if you make that chocolate syrup from scratch. Oh, and a cacao bean plant is fun to make. You can grow it indoors. So you could even also grow a coffee bean plant indoors as long as you give it the right conditions.
Very nice. Very nice. Let's see. Singeman says flour, salt water, and oil. I will try with really good flour. Yeah, that's pretty much a tortilla right there. And I love breakfast burritos. I was growing these tins of just microgreens, which I'm going to start some more once I move. I have a bunch of these bowls that I'm just going to do like lettuce bowls. But yeah, as soon as the greens start growing, you can harvest the sprouts, and like I put those on eggs, or I'll just eat them just like that. But they're so good. Like lettuce is like one of the easiest things you could ever grow, and you can start eating it within just a couple days. But then you can leave a couple in the bowl to grow into bigger lettuce and just harvest the leaves off that. And it's really unbelievable, like how easy it is to grow food. Like I had no idea, when I got into gardening last year, like I just didn't know how simple it is to just plant a seed, and just like you really don't have to do a whole lot to these plants. Like just kind of observe them, like see if they get pests on them or whatever, or see if they need a bigger pot. But I mean they pretty much kind of do whatever they want. And like, yeah, it's amazing just how easy it is to grow food, and how like disconnected we are from our food. Because like I didn't know that zucchinis got flowers, or like tomatoes got flowers, and so much other stuff. And like it's just kind of mind blowing that there's like so much that has been hidden from us. And that's like one of the most basic things is like every single person has to eat, and most people don't know at all where or how their food got to their plate, and it's just kind of endless lies that are need to connect. Says I just got a mortar and pestle, so I'm going to go nuts with my homegrown spices. Yeah, that's one thing I'm really excited to grow like a ton of basil for. It's not only the smell, but just to have dried basil. And it's just so fun to just try and do things yourself and learn the ways of the past and whatnot. And I love it. I love it. And Carrie Musgrave is here. Hey, she says onions are easy. Excited to grow onions. I am obsessed with sweet onions. They're so so good. It's such a problem.
They'll just start growing on your counter if you leave them there too long. And if that happens, you just stick them in the soil and you leave them there and you give them some TLC, and then they're ready to pull them when they fall over. So it's really super easy.
Yeah, I have a sweet potato right now that really needs to get in the dirt because it has a sprout on it that's like 3 inches tall, I think. And so it needs to get in a bucket really soon or something. But yeah, moving on Wednesday, so then I can do lots of more gardening stuff. Yeah, that's awesome. Alrighty, well, I know you have a show to get to pretty soon, Karen. If either you have anything else you would like to add, you can feel free. Or if anyone in the chat has a quick question. Let's see, what is this? Singeman says, my mother was born in 1936. She lived in Boston, and she didn't know milk came from cows until she was 10. Yeah, exactly. Simple things like that. It's like my son.
I bet she was surprised.
Right, exactly. Like, why did we drink that? Like, that's crazy. Yeah. Like,
and how did we discover cheese, guys? Were they just carrying milk in a cow's stomach? And it just lasted too long. I always think about how the heck they discovered cheese. But anyway, Dottie, I don't want to keep Karen here anymore, but I do want to thank you and tell you how much fun I had, and that I hope you'll invite me back so we can keep talking about this stuff.
You both are welcome back anytime. Absolutely. Yeah, always willing to talk about literally whatever, like any topic that comes up. I'm down to listen or throw an opinion, whatnot. But yeah, thank you both so much for being here. It's been a blast, and thank everyone for being here in the chat. It's been wonderful seeing you all. And yeah, I think we're probably going to sign off of this and get out of here. So make sure and go watch Karen and Brian and Ted and Stephanie. I don't remember. I don't know if I've seen her channel or not, but yeah, got a whole panel going. So there you go. There's Karen's channel and whatnot. So yeah, go check that out. And I hope that everyone has a great week, a great life, whatever you do. Yeah, whatever you're doing, I hope it's awesome. But
thank you so much. I just got a frog in my throat. But thank you so much, Dottie. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dottie.
Bye. Thank you. And
bye.